What is your position of worship in the house here?
I'm on the praise and worship team here.
Okay, are you a worship leader or you just sing on the worship team?
Well, there's only 2 of us, so.
Okay, but
I'm on the team.
Okay, so let me ask you my question again, yes. Because just because there are only 2 of you doesn't mean that you may not be called to lead worship. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see if you knew if you were called to be a worship leader, or if you just good with I'm just on the team. I sing on the team. I'm gonna let you on that. There you go. Okay, good. What's your name again? Miranda. Okay. And you are you play. Awesome. Okay, great. You just play keys or you play? Okay. Just keyboard. Okay, good.
She also does mime.
She does mime ministry as well? Okay. That falls under music, worship, and arts, which is that's a whole nother area of teaching. But that's what I do in my church. I am the music, worship, and arts director. And so what I do is I facilitate the flow of every single service, musical production, anything that we do musically, whether it's a resurrection service, whether it's like we had something that came last week. We had an event called The Prophets Are Coming, which was like a revival, but it was a prophetic service. And so I woke up Friday morning. Me and JJ, he's probably gonna laugh about this now. I woke up Friday morning, I woke up Monday morning. The service was on that coming Friday. I woke up the Monday. We had choir rehearsal on that Monday, and I started hearing the song that was supposed to be a part of the service. And so I immediately, I'm at home on bed rest, but that doesn't stop anything that I do. So I'm hearing in my head like, this is a song that we need to have for this service. So I pull out YouTube, I get to copying and pasting, I'm working from my phone, sending the song out. Musicians, I need you guys to learn this. I'm not exactly sure what Apostle wants to do in rehearsal this evening, but get this song down so that when I come, if I'm able to come in and make it, then we will go over this song. And that's what happened. And it was the song that prepared the atmosphere for the prophetic flow to happen. That's just one example of what the music, worship, and arts director may do. It might be our Christmas event, which means that I have to make sure the dance, the pageantry, if there's mime that needs to take place, if there's the children that need to be involved, the children's choir, if it's the youth choir, whatever. And again, going back to what she says, there is not a time that I put anything together that I don't first find out from our apostle and pastors. What is the theme? What are we doing? Because if I go out and gather songs that have absolutely nothing to do with what the event is, then it doesn't help to perpetuate what needs to happen in this particular service. So I could have been singing, that your presence fill this house, and your, love fills my soul, even now forevermore, your name be praised. That was a good song. But if I say, let the winds blow, 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 you feel it. You can feel some stirring just right there. You get ready. It's like, woo! And so that's just to give you an idea of how important, going back to what she was saying about knowing the vision and being connected with the vision of the house and knowing what kind of house that you're in. The other thing is a lot of times as worship leaders and as people who have the ability to set the tone and the atmosphere in the house, you have to also know the culture of the people there. Because sometimes you can want to bring in something and introduce something that the people are not ready for.
Amen.
And if they're not ready for it, it falls to the ground and then you're disappointed. But you have to be able, you have to know the vision of the house, and you need to know those that you serve under and those who you serve with. That is very important. You need to know who you're working with. Because if you're working with 2 people on your team, you don't need to go out and get Matthew 28.
Right.
They're talking about we getting ready to sing, destroy these temples in 3 days, I will build it up. You gonna be frustrated. And you set yourself, you want to set yourself up to succeed. So you need to be able to find songs that are suitable for the people that you're working with, songs that continue to progress you, songs that lead toward him, but songs that are simple. Do what you can do for where you are and grow to that place to where you want to be. Because otherwise, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. If you don't have a musician who is capable of doing those specific things, then you're going to have to redirect yourself.
You don't have a musician that's capable.
Yes.
Back at home, I have another keyboard player, a bass player, 3 drummers. I used to have one of it. But you gotta know the strength of your musician. Now, just because she can call me Monday morning and I can have it down, does not mean the whole team can do it. So you gotta know the strength of your musician. You gotta be able to discern, can she do this, can she not, And I want to ask, what's your relationship like? How close are you all?
But the musician?
The musician in the worship group.
We're pretty close. I don't know, I feel like she's my daughter. I don't know. There's something about her and her children that I'm just connected to. I don't know, there's just a strange thing. And we can pretty much, she's pretty upfront, she's pretty honest, open, just in your face type person. Blah, blah, I can't do, blah, blah, I can't do, So we have a pretty open relationship.
I just learned from, just watching videos. I don't really know how to play. I just watch somebody and then I can play it.
She's a
That's great.
photographic thing going on.
Speak that thing. Yeah.
Everybody
Say it.
I've never been taught how to play, so we needed a musician, and I always had a love for it. So I was like, I got wild one day. I was like, I'm about to go to Pied Piper and buy me a keyboard. So I did that, and
I would definitely love to. I would love to hear a little bit of what you do, of what you can do, and see where we can be of assistance to kind of. Because the one thing that I feel like is a good thing that I do is I have learned how to celebrate the people that I work with where they are. So if, like I have one of our musicians, and this is not a negative thing, this is just her learning curve. I know that I have to send things to her in advance because she can learn and she will have it down pat. Whatever I give her, I mean, she's gonna get it. But if I give it to her in rehearsal and say, we get ready to learn this song and just listen to the CD and then we gonna learn it, that does not work for her. I'm gonna frustrate her. The whole rehearsal is gonna go up. It's gonna end. Everything is getting ready to come to a screeching halt because that's not how she functions. And so once I just learned, I'm like, well, what you made it at for 2 chords? Dun dun. Just do dun 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 dun. Well, what's hard about that? Why can't you do it? I don't learn like that. I said, okay. There is no sense in you trying to put a square peg into a round hole. It doesn't work. So for her, this is what she needs to do. If this is your ministry assignment of being over the music, worship, and arts department, accommodate her. To get the best out of her, accommodate her. So that's what I did. I stopped trying to say, well, I don't understand why you can't get it like that. Because for me, now I hear everything musically, but I don't play. So I had to stop. I had to stop trying to make her, what sounded easy to me was still not her learning curve. Now for JJ, I can call him 5 minutes before service and say, get on YouTube and pull up such and such and so and so and have this by the time we get to the service. He gonna have it by the time we get to the service. And if he don't have it, he gonna be right. So, but that's how me and him, we can flow like that. And I understand that's his learning curve, but I still give him the same respect that I give the other musician, and I still send things to him in a timely manner because I don't want to take for granted the fact that he can work like that. So when you learn to appreciate the people that you work with, it makes life so much easier for your team of people. Yes.
I just wanted to say something quickly on the same note. To you as a musician, I hear you saying, I don't know how to play. I don't know how to, when you said that, it pricked something in me because those were my words. I don't know how to sing because I didn't go to a musical school. I didn't get any formal training. Even when I was in school, I never sang in the chorus. I just never did it. Good. But I'm gifted. I know where my gifting is, and I can sing. I can hear. I can tell you if a note is wrong, but I couldn't tell you what note you need to be hitting, but I can let you know that's not it. It's fairness, that's what I'm hearing. And it's like, no, that's not what you're playing. I can do that. Right. But I'm not trained in that area. But the one thing, and this is just from me to you, you have to stop saying, I don't know how, and lean on your gift. This is what God gave you. I used to get intimidated, even when I sang in a group with Jodi, and then I would go places with them and go places with other people because I do praise and worship in different churches. And when I would get there, I would get really intimidated because I would get there, they called me to do praise and worship, but I'm sitting there with the maestro. And this person has been in the conservatory of Christian music or whatever you call it. They've been in this for years, and you called me to do praise and worship, and I can't even tell him what key I sing in because I have no idea. I just, whatever song it is, I just sing what it, hey, here it is, just this is it, fine. So don't say anymore, from me to you. Don't say, I don't know how. You're gifted. You know how. God, when he gives you a gift, he also provides what you need for that gift. You're equipped. So if you learn from videos or whatever, get your videos. I got a whole bunch. I don't play a note. I have a keyboard because I went out and I got my husband to get me one for Christmas. I begged for years and years. I told him, babe, when you get this, I'm going to know how to play it. I just know it because I can hear it in my head. I know I'm going to know how to play it. I got that keyboard and I'm listening to music and I hit them keys and it did not sound like what I was hearing in my head. So I even went and I got a diagram and I wrote all the notes on the keys and I'll be looking at that music like, this is a C. And I'm like, but which C is it? So I still, so I'm like playing all of them like this is, okay, let's try this. And my fingering ain't right, but I can play the chorus to a couple of songs now just, by hearing. So just do what you're gifted to do and believe in the God in you. It's not about how you've been trained, because there are many people in the Bible that was never formally trained. But when you have a gift, you flow in that gift. And you trust the God in you. If you don't trust yourself, trust the God in you. Don't worry about trusting yourself because you can't do it. So you'll be saying, I don't know how forever. But trust the God in you because he knows how to do it. And that's just from me to you.
Let's go to the word just a little bit. If you got your phone, you can pull up your little Bibles on there. If not, I'm going to read it out because they ain't the big Bibles. Pull up your little Bibles because that ain't the big Bibles. We're going to go to Colossians chapter 1. Let me find it in my big Bibles while I'm playing. Chapter 1, and we're going to look at okay, we're not going to go back and read all the things that actually kind of tell you, but basically this is talking about Jesus Christ and who he is. And so we're going to, I'll just start from verse 15. And it says, he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he may have the preeminence. And so I read that basically because it's talking about Christ and how all things were created that are in heaven by him, were all things were created by him. And that we were created by him, for him. And so when you hear people talking about being created to worship God, that's our purpose and our intent. Before we do anything else, before we lead worship, before we preach a sermon, before we serve food to the hungry, before we heal the sick, before we do any type of missions, we were created first to worship God. So as worshipers and leaders and musicians, psalmists, Levites, whatever you want to call yourself, our first assignment is to worship the Father, to worship the King. And what else did I have there? Okay. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and you can write this down, is Genesis 1:26, that we are created in the image and the likeness of him. So he created us in his image and after his likeness. So when we worship him, we don't worship him from we worship him from a place of being just like him. And it's because it's just simply because he's God, and because that's how he made us, and that he made us to reflect his image and to reflect his glory in the earth. So when we worship him, it's like glory reflecting glory. So we're made in his image and his likeness. And so when we worship him, we simply give back to him what he gave to us. And so I thought those scriptures would be good for you all to know and to take with you as worshipers and as worship leaders, and understanding who you are and who God created you to be. Now, and I'll give you some other things some other scriptures to look at, to read on your own about those who are actually called to lead worship, because there are those who are actually called to lead people into the presence of God. And so I'll give you some scriptures on those as well. And then one other scripture I want us to look at, but I want to wait and go there, not right this second, but John chapter 4, so you guys can go ahead and turn there if you want to. And the one thing I was going to say is, does anybody know what worship is? I was going to ask, what is worship? Brother Salim?
It's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's what I know of it. It's a gift. It's a gift, and you gotta take it seriously. Mm-hmm. It's not how I was taught when I was coming up. My grandmother was about kingdom faith, and she poured in things to me, and she told me about you couldn't say certain things, you couldn't say God's name in vain, and she just taught me lessons. And like when I was young, I didn't understand it, but she was crazy. But I understand it now through through the years. Though she passed, the lessons and the things she taught me. Okay. That's a big part. But it's a lifestyle.
That's real good. Was anybody else going to say anything else other than worship is a lifestyle?
Yes, worship is, to me, it's the way you communicate with God, and how it's like that's the intimacy between you and God, and your fellowship, and him speaking to you and you speaking back to him. But it's a personal communication, just like you are with your husband and nobody else is around. Mm-hmm. That's just you and God, and your time to love on each other and commune.
Good. Anybody else had anything else they would say? I would say both of those things are very true and very accurate, very good about what worship is. And I would say I wanted to also talk about what worship is not.